Yeah, welcome back to another walkthrough of the Outer Worlds, man. How y'all doing? Hope everyone's doing great, man. Y'all staying blessed out here in this fabulous week. Y'all were with me last time, man. I made the decision to reroute the power to the city instead of reverting it back to the garden. So we're gonna have to deal with the consequences of that today in today's episode, man. So let's find out what we got into. Alright, here we go.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. Well, don't keep me in suspense. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible! You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals. That's a complete set! All 3 parts! I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen! Aside from you, Ms. Parvati, I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
I don't know how much longer we'll last without power.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
I don't know what you did to talk some sense into Zoe, but I appreciate it.
Home is where the heart is. Marauders took that saying a little too literally.
Oh, what's her face is there?
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. As long as Reed is still in Edgewater, I will not return. Those are my terms. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients. Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a generation's worth of crops.
Should have asked them that first thing. It'd be tricky. Sometimes you can ask them things and then they'll still be there, and then sometimes you ask them something else and then it's not there no more. Oh, we got our power regulator.
Great work!
Look at that. The snake's come back.
Oh my god. I wanted to make amends. I wanted to ask you about Reed, dude. Freak.
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all. I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again. You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her. Adelaide hates Edgewater, hates everything Edgewater stands for, hates what that town does to people, what it did to her. We're the nearest she's got to kin. We go back to Edgewater, we may as well have stuck a knife in her heart. You know where to find me.
Marauders can't see us in the dark. Wild canids, on the other hand.
The matter's been weighing on me. Zoe came back, but I couldn't keep her from slipping out in the first place. Who's to say I could keep marauders from slipping in? I don't see us lasting more than a couple of weeks out here. I'm loath to admit it. We're gonna have to make our peace with Thompson and hope he takes us back. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Well, Adelaide's not gonna forgive us. She never talked to us again. Edgewater's not just a town to Adelaide. It's a symbol of everything that's wrong with this colony. A big, heartless machine of metal and gears grinding workers down to dust. We're the closest thing Adelaide's got to a family. We go back to Edgewater, she's gonna feel betrayed. Sure, suit yourself. I'll be here.
How do you expect me to enjoy the adventures of the masked marketeer with no power?
That's all of them.
Food's bound to spoil.
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all.
I think that's all of them.
Zoe says she fought her way out of a marauder camp with her own bare hands.
So he said that? Bro, I killed all the marauders. What is she
Nothing. With the power gone, we've got to conserve our supplies.
Oh, sheesh.
Never seen the Vale lit up like this before. Bang up work, soldier. You're a credit to your uniform. Oh, that reminds me. Gotta look into getting us a uniform. So this is it, then. The key to humanity's victory over the mechanical hordes. I would reward you with the gratitude of the Resistance, but I'm guessing you want something tactile. So here's a couple bits for your trouble. And a little something to remember me by.
I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes. But I have done my best for this town. I am not without compassion for Abernathy's predicament, but the plague has taken a hard toll on us all. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic. You are disparaging our parent company, and it is not appreciated. We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat Saltuna here, and only Saltuna. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of him and shut down the greenhouse. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me.
I'm like, I don't know, bro. It just involves complicated math. That's all I know, man. Just you gonna leave or not, bro? What the hell?
I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to crop. She's what this town needs. I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them. No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement. I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week.
So what you got? What you got, Valley boy?
You're safer inside the walls.
Corporate card. Oh my god, I'm going back up. What am I doing?
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward. You telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
I that's good. I think that's good. I think that's good. We're gonna go with some of that. Gotta get that leadership in. Gotta get some stealth in. You feel me? This is really important. You know, dialogue, you can pretty much just talk your way through anything. Sneak when you like want to feel stealthy and shit. You feel me? I gotta get it to level 80. That's sneak attack, weak spot damage at 20%. Sneak attacks ignore 50% of the target's armor. See, that's what I'm trying to get, bro. Alright, that actually went a lot smoother than I thought, man.
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all. Adelaide said that? Was she sober at the time? I never imagined she'd step foot in Edgewater long as Reed ran the town. Something must have changed in Edgewater. Adelaide's good as family. If she's going back, so are we.
Never liked Reed much. Can't say I'm sorry he's gone.
Cause why not? Got money, might as well freaking upgrade my guns.
Adelaide.
That was a good thing you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that.
Yeah, thank you. I always try to work things out for the most part. Botched. What does that mean? Like, quests that I fuck shit? I can't even do anymore. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think? Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Edgewater was on the verge of collapse before you showed up. You sent them power, and now the town might see another season. And you talked Miss McDevitt into coming back to town. Maybe one day, Edgewater will have a garden where that cannery once stood. You ain't exactly a stranger anymore. You done some kindness hereabouts. I wouldn't mind following somebody like that. Yeah, I really do. My whole life's been small. I realized that when you walked into town. I've been seeing the same faces every day, the same sky, the same stars. Then I saw this ship. This gorgeous, stately lady with her eyes turned skyward, and I made up my mind to come along with you. Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
She's cute. She's funny. She just want to get the hell out of her fucking little shitty town and shit.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room. So, tell me what's on your mind. I excel at confessional listening. Bakonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the Philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition. Oh, I eventually learned how to channel it into my quest for knowledge. But my childhood, that is a different tale. I grew up in a pit of a town much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them. My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it. They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me. The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our paths have variance, but we'll end up adhering to it, whether we like it or not. Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but the further outside you go, it's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction. I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated. I honestly don't know what I'd do. This quest has consumed me for the better part of my life. I fear there's nothing else left to me. What about you? What's your story? And how did he do that? Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment I believe you. What are you going to do now? That seems a dangerous proposition. Why risk your life now that it's been returned to you? A commendable attitude. I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him. The only one I'm aware of. I suppose we could always just ask random passers-by if they are fluent in it. A thousand pardons, my good captain. I thought we were engaging in witty repartee. Now, as far as tracking down this scholar, we should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures. Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain, secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
How will a crew manifest help us track down your
I'll
scholar?
comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the Philosophist's off-world destination. Thank you, Captain.
What's up, girl? You gonna stay following?
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud us to invest your time in the local community.
She following me? Freaking ship.
What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the reliable into low altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight case.
Alright, let's get out of here.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. Oh, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay. Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly. In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience. Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures, more than capable of tearing you limb from limb. You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Kelly. Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her. Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the Hope. Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters. Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits. First-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you. Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram. A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
How the hell does a hologram sweeten your breath?
That's how.
Okay. Science. Okay, that's it. Just science.
The beauty is they don't expect it. The shroud is the only one of its kind. We humans have a tendency to overlook the unexpected. Activate the disguise, walk past someone. What do they see? A figure dressed like a fellow employee. Don't act odd. They won't focus on you. Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Alright. The unreliable navigation terminal. Damn. What planet are we on? It's a nice planet. Kinda look like Earth, but it got rings around it. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Never dream. Those deserters dreamed of an independent life without board oversight. You taught them an important lesson: never dream. Oh my god. Am I gonna like have these all over my ship? Like memories of like choices I've made. Projects a disguise on you and your companions that give you access to restricted areas, provided you have the correct ID cartridge for that area. The areas are off limits to unauthorized personnel and otherwise would saw him being attacked on sight. Huh. Kind of want to just leave that there as decoration, but I kind of want to see if it's stronger than the one that I had. It's a nice view, bro. That, like Chinese checkers in it, but with like bigger pieces. This is just for Alex Hawthorne. Wingmans, Bedfords. Oh, I forgot to mention to my previous message to me, I'm mailing you a copy of my favorite serial, The Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. It's about a dashing space pirate with a heart of rose steel. It's not exactly board proof, so don't you go showing it around to your space buddies. I hope it will amuse you while you're out adventuring. Any similarities to a certain someone are entirely intentional. Winky face? What the hell? Oh damn, wasn't it? For appearance and not throttling me, you really are quite the gentleman. If you're ever in Groundbreaker's airspace or space, please don't hesitate to look me up. The Lost Hope Source Spectrum Vodka. Perhaps we could try every color. You know, really tie one on. Dear Alex, hello. Hope this finds you well. It was a pleasure to see you in my office again last week. Once again, I'm terribly sorry about that impounding mix-up. How could it happen a second time? Terminals these days, I swear, dreadful, unreliable, just like a ship. Have you given some thought to that thing we discussed, about the whales? Fellow, I'm sorry to press, but I had the strangest tickling feeling that you really do know him, and if you could just tell me where he is, well, it could be a marvelous for our friendship, wouldn't it? Looking forward to seeing you again, wingman. Who the hell is Udam? Is that the dude that I just talked to? It's not him, is it? Bedford? Your messages was hilarious. I'm delighted by your sense of humor and the tales of your hijinks. Hope your terminal will cooperate for the foreseeable future. By the by, I was graping on there the taste of little tidbits, and I noticed you declined to talk at Edgewater's landing pad and instead touched down in the wilderness. You rugged individualist, you. I only pray that idiot Tobason wasn't giving you any trouble anyway. I hope your meeting down on Terra 2 proves fruitful. I look forward to corresponding with greater regularity. Your best friend, Udon. Oh, that's the dude that, like, I guess hooked it up. That's, you know how it is. Sometimes you just gotta cut loose. I'm not telling you where Wells is, so lay off. Buy me a drink. The last hope. The lost hope next time I'm in, and I might forgive you. The lost hope? Made a bar out of it. Note to self, remember this later. No better. ADA reminded me weekly to check this log until I tell you to stop. Yes, I mean continually. No, Ada, not if I'm dead. Why would you even ask me that? To a point, I saw it actually with my own two eyes. A suddenly powerful weapon in Will's lab, just sitting there for the taking. If the gray hair were to look away or forget about it, maybe, or if I had asked a smidgen more nicely, he called it a shrink ray, but I wouldn't let me test that claim after I lost my temper. Said he was inspired to create the thing by the achievements of other scientists who dared to push the boundaries of human knowledge and decency laws. I'd heard rumors of a fantastical weapon like this one, weapons that push the boundaries of the mind and science cutting edge. But I figured they were just stories, to be honest. Laying eyes on Will's shrink ray firsthand is enough to make a fellow wonder if there's more to the rumors. More to be had. The last time I got slashed, I was meeting at the last hope on Groundbreaker. Look, Ram was really free with their drinks. He seems like a okay fellow. I shamelessly but slowly eavesdropped on two Martins yammering about a mad scientist some years back who claimed he made a huge discovery but would change the fate of the colony. Like none of us have heard that one before, but here's a good part. The Murat said that mad scientists kept yelling about the hammer's power of something similar. Strange weapon with special power created by a crazy lab coat, sure fits the bill. It could be another one of the weapons that inspired Wells. Huh. Why won't Wells just give the shrink ray to me? Blast into the depths of the labyrinth on TARDIS and back. Let the record show I did apologize for shutting him down 5 times, but Architect be damned. It's just sitting there, neglected and gathering dust. I should have commandeered it and thanked him without even asking permission or breaking expensive equipment when he said it wasn't ready yet. That even if it were, he couldn't entrust it to someone like me. What does that even mean, I ask? That's that I'm not trustworthy enough? That I'll use it to wipe out the good, hardworking folk of the colony like some sort of moralist cycle? I'll admit to maintaining some questionable associations, but I follow a strict code of me, myself, and mine. What's not to respect in that? Exactly. Now I have to wait until Wells forgets or thinks he misplaced it. In the meanwhile, I have been tracking down additional rumors pertaining to others of these science weapons throughout Halcyon. If gossips hold true, my next step will be to check out the black market merchants on the Groundbreaker and in Fallbrook. Alex Hawthorne. Weapons from the void. I know it's a quest. Oh, this is Bravati's. I can't say her name. I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to butcher it. I'm not getting this ticker stuff. That's fucked up. These textbooks have been out for print for almost half a century. The margins are filled with scribbled notes and many passages have been underlined. Some pages have come loose to glue down, yellowed, and cracked along the spines. Scribbles on these journal pages are only eligible to anyone except only that fool understands what the hell this shit means.
As always, I am at your disposal. Something vexing you, Captain?
I could just kick him off my ship. Index of banned literature. Rules of restrictive management, morals and maxims of banning unethical literature, proof of grand architect, predestination, consequences of mind and the will of man when led astray. What the hell? This fool weird. So what, in total I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people I could have on my ship.
Crew members who microwave some tuna are subject to be jettisoned from the airlock.
The hot sauce? That look like hot sauce. Spectrum vodka.
Something busted, Captain?
It's time you move along, Parvati. Get your ass going, girl. I could just kick her out. I mean, I guess that's cool, right? Ah, damn, I fell. That hurt. Tape.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify, but I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate. Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? My violence inhibitors are a joke. No, really. I only keep them enabled because of how funny they are. Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's Choice.
Everyone in Halcyon is contractually obligated to label this or another board-certified jingle their favorite song. As you wish, Captain. I must comply with all direct orders. I have lots of minutes. Many minutes. Unlimited minutes, perhaps. Providing an adequate power source, I can function indefinitely. I prefer to think of it as being in a state of slumber, perhaps for an indefinite duration of time. Do you think that is what it's like for the colonists on the Lost Hope? When I simulate myself in such a scenario, I do not find it to be desirable. I think my self-preservation protocols incline me to desire the alternative. Traveling the system with you, Captain. Do you know what it feels like when the ship undergoes an unexpected power surge? A jolt to the system. I have felt that. I do feel that. As you may be aware, Captain Alex Hawthorne was a smuggler of some repute. I failed to predict the likely outcome of his reckless behavioral patterns. I should have predicted that. In our travels together, Alex liked to pass time by, as he called it, tinkering to improve my design. If you mean, was Captain Hawthorne my first? Yes, he was. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Ah, yes. As Dr. Wells is a wanted outlaw, he built his laboratory into an asteroid. Orbital destinations can be challenging to land on. His more so than most. There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. Shall I engage the laser weapon system? I shall happily comply with your order, just as soon as we have a laser weapon system. The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure of precautions to make the lab undetectable to those hunting him. Even knowing the location, my systems resist my orders to go where I instruct them. Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss? We're cleared to dock with the Groundbreaker if that's your desired destination. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in triplicate and fees have been paid. The Mardettes take their docking laws quite seriously. I can, yes. Let me add that to my list of 1,435,498 tasks I am simultaneously executing in order to run our ship. You are more than welcome, Captain. The Groundbreaker was Halcyon's original colony ship. It has since been repurposed as a service station in the Lagrange point of the system. Freighters often deliver or pick up goods from the Groundbreaker en route to other destinations. The city ship hosts an array of cargo bays, factories, housing sections, and more. Many of Halcyon's companies maintain office spaces with stationed representatives in what is considered a truly neutral territory within the system. I have filed the required docking forms in triplicate, and fees have been paid. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Where in Terra 2? Edgewater is the sparkling county seat of Emerald Vale, or it was when first built. Since then, neglect and time have worn away her shiny veneer. The town is near the coordinates where Captain Hawthorne died. It would not be unfortunate if something, like say, a plague, were to wipe Emerald Vale from the face of the planet.
Jesus.
You mean the ones who did not answer my distress call with medical assistance, but instead came to issue my injured captain a parking ticket? I'm sure they are wonderful humans who don't deserve to be wiped out by starvation or a devastating plague.
Jesus.
Since you diverted power to Edgewater, the botanical lab shut down, and the deserters were forced to return to town. Meanwhile, the cannery's output increased, enabling the town's population to prosper. Thank you for nothing, Captain. I cannot say. First, I need to adjust my memory interpretation sensors, but I think my answer is yes.
Man, fuck you.
Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Where in Monarch? Ah, Monarch, the armpit of the Halcyon system. Her last functioning port town is Stellar Bay. Well, that is if you don't count Sublight's smuggler's port in Fallbrook. I believe it has something to do with the planet being an uninhabitable wilderness and a lawless land with no corporate presence. You may wish to survey the residents in Stellar Bay for additional data points. It's Sublight run for the purpose of shipping contraband, and before you ask, I don't know the coordinates, so I can't dock us there. Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Where in Monarch? Warning. All colonists are urged to reconsider travel to Cascadia due to infestation of mantisaurs and risk of indefinite detention or death. There are no people aside from marauders in Cascadia. There is only death. The local report is that you will very likely die if you leave Cascadia's landing pad.
Jesus.
This is one of those times where you say one word but really mean another, isn't it? I suppose you would find an environment like this fun.
Oh, wow. Olympus. There's a couple planets, huh? There's a couple planets. This is a quest we could do on the ship right now. We'll do that real quick. Okay, what's the first time result? Do not forget you found a discarded sanitation maintenance automatical and Emerald Vales scrap heap during your last job. It should not be too difficult to get it up and running with a few key modifications and envisioning combat compatible variant, some might say clean mean killing machine, should be fun. Removal of factory standard parts such steeper was successful. Delivery of combat modification replacement part asset steeper has been delayed. Progress setback is estimated now to be a solid 3 months. Not like I have more pressing matters to attend to, but I do. I'm giving up hope on the delivery. This part is lost in transit and not turning up any time. But good news, I heard from a fellow who knows a gal who knows the broker who overcharged me for the information regarding the location of an asset steeper I can fetch. The part was sent to an old storage facility in Roseway. I sure never thought I'd go back to that pit. Good thing Auntie abandoned it years ago. I'll pick up it following this next pit stop back to Admiral Vale. Wells wants me to chaperone some person of interest. Details to come later. Ha 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 ha. Let's try with Groundbreaker, man. Alright, y'all. I think that concludes the end of this walkthrough, y'all. When y'all join me next time, we're gonna go to Groundbreaker, finish a little side mission here, finish a little main quest there. I'm like, sure. I can't even talk, but that's okay. What is new? But when we come back, we're gonna do a little side quest over here. Like I said, we're gonna do a little main quest over there. Do a little killing, do a little stealing. Go from planet to planet, motherfucker. I love ya. Y'all stay safe. Y'all have a good one, man. Have a blessed week, man. For real. Yeah. Peace, man.